Today I'm at Cannop Cycle Centre in the Forest of Dean to ride the award-winning Verderers Trail, and I'll be checking out two of the newly refurbished trails, Countdown and Launchpad. It's a beautiful day to be out on the trails, and I'm going to be spending it riding at Cannop Cycle Centre in the Forest of Dean. Two of the downhill trails here, Countdown and Launchpad, have just been refurbished, so I'm going to be checking both of those out, but first I'm going to be riding the award-winning Verderers Trail. I've been told that the final descent of the Verderers Trail is an absolute must, and I'm really looking forward to finding out why. Before we get to that though, this channel's all about mountain biking, so if you are too, please consider subscribing. If you do, don't forget to click the bell icon so you can be one of the first to know about new Meant for Descent videos. Right, let's get down to business. This is the Verderers Trail. It's a blue-grade loop a little over 11 kilometres long with two notable descents. This is the first, starting at post 47, and the other is right at the very end. Of the two, this is the shortest by quite a long way, but that doesn't detract from the fun. It just means there's a lot more to look forward to. This is very obviously a flow trail, meaning it's smooth and fast, and it's been built in such a way to allow you to build and carry a lot of speed. It's easy to look at a trail like this and think that riding it is child's play, or it doesn't pose a risk because there aren't really any technical features, and in one sense that's true. If you ride at a relaxed pace, you'd have to be pretty unlucky to come to harm, but as soon as you add speed into the mix, it's a different matter. Riding a trail like this quickly is huge fun, but if you leave the trail and hit one of these trees for example, that could pose a significant risk. However you choose to ride it, just be careful. As brief as it was, I really enjoyed that. It's a nice little taste of what's to come, but it's close to the start of the trail and we've still got quite a lot of pedalling to do before we arrive at the finale. I really can't complain though. This trail is shoehorned into quite a tight area, and that means that there aren't any monster climbs. The gradient is fairly modest, and the climb to the final descent is drip fed to you over the remainder of the trail. If you're looking for a thrill a minute, you're unlikely to find it here. But if you want to get your blood pumping with the promise of a long flowing payoff at the end, and you want to do it somewhere as beautiful as this, then this is almost certainly the trail for you. However, despite its nature, you still need a good level of fitness to get around. Not only that, when I arrived in the car park, it was an unseasonably toasty 27 degrees Celsius, which is 8 degrees hotter than the average for this time of year, and that alone made these modest gradients feel like an assault on the north face of the Eiger. Eventually, the climb turns into a descent, and this is a sign that we're approaching the prize. This section is relatively short, but being able to freewheel down it means you can steal a brief rest before taking on its big brother, which lies just ahead. Well, it might feel like a rest now, but you're probably going to be out of the saddle for some time to come, so maybe it's just a different kind of tired. This is where the fun begins, post 68. From here, there's little pedalling to be done. Instead, it's time to settle in and just enjoy the ride. As you can see, like the previous descent, the surface is smooth and fast, but here the turns feel effortless. Also, this section somehow feels bigger and more commanding, like a motorway compared to an A road. It's a long descent too. Between here and the car park, there are 3 sections that cross 2 fire roads. One of the things that I enjoy most about riding trails like this is just spending time in the forest. This is such a beautiful location, and being able to ride here is just amazing. It's interesting to see how the woodland changes too as we make our way down the hillside. Here the trees are mature and it feels like the forest has been thinned, but shortly we'll pass through younger, denser woodland, and that affects the character of the trail. This little turn guides you onto the next part of the descent, so be careful not to miss it. I'm sure it's easily done. As you would expect from a blue trail, there aren't any drops or lippy jumps, but there are a few opportunities to get a little bit of air. However, these rollers are not the place. Their spacing doesn't really allow it. They're too far apart to gap, and too close to make a safe landing before hitting the next one. If you pump them though, they'll help you to maintain pace. I think that the people who developed this trail did a fantastic job when they were planning the path of this descent, because they've really made the most out of the elevation they had to play with. The whole thing, from post 68 down to the car park, took us a little under 6 minutes. To put that into perspective, in 6 minutes you could listen to 2/3 of Lynyrd Skynyrd's Freebird. 2/3, that's nearly all of it. This part of it is the longest at nearly 3.5 minutes, or 159 plays of Napalm Death's 1987 composition, You Suffer. If you're enjoying this, by the way, and you want to support this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Doing that is a huge help. Shortly, I'm going to leave the cover of the canopy above and emerge into a corridor that's been cut through a more densely wooded area of younger trees and shrubs. Throughout that corridor, the trail's surface seems to me to be a little looser than the trail higher up the hillside. Personally, I don't feel as though that's affected my grip in any way, but I'm running quite an aggressive tread, and because I'm tubeless, I'm probably running lower tyre pressures than riders who favour inner tubes. By this point, the gradient has relaxed a bit, but that doesn't matter. We don't have to go far to get back to the car park, and I'm carrying enough speed to make it back without too much effort. As far as facilities go here, when we do get back to the car park, there's a cafe, toilets, and a bike shop to help you fix any issues you might have had out on the trails. Back just in time for tea and cakes. Now we're heading back up the hill so we can ride the newly refurbished Countdown and Launchpad. Both Countdown and Launchpad have been designed to be ridden by four-wheeled gravity bikes, meaning that you shouldn't really need to pedal once you're on the move. With a 1 rating, they're both easy trails, so they're suitable for a pretty broad cross-section of riders. This is my first time riding Countdown, so don't expect a knockout performance, but I have been paying attention, and I have noticed that there are a few nice rollers along the way that are the perfect size to gap. Overall, it looks like the trail has had a lot of thought put into it. If I had more time, I'd love to get a few more laps in and try and develop my flow a little. This is a lot of fun, but I'll bet it's a lot more fun when you're nailing the jumps and hitting each of the transitions. This definitely isn't the most challenging trail here, but I'm sure even the most seasoned rider would find it hard not to crack a smile whilst they cruised from turn to turn. that was short, but very sweet. On to Launchpad. Both of these trails are running incredibly fast, so take care, but of the two, this feels to me to be the faster. It's got some big berms to help you keep that speed, but it only takes one mistake and you could be off. But it's so much fun. It's just a shame it doesn't go on and on. Last on the list is a lap of the skills area on the way back to the car park. I've had a great time riding here at Cannop, and I want to come back and ride everything that I've missed out on today. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and please do give this video a thumbs up. It's a massive help because it lets YouTube know that people are watching, and it helps to get it out to more like-minded souls. For now though, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again. Right, I'm broken.